Okay, so today we're going to meet Dr. Richard Benjamin. Dr. Benjamin is an internationally known educator. He's a former superintendent of schools of 3 different school districts in the United States. I'll talk a little bit about that in the next slide. He is an educational consultant to cities throughout America and throughout the world. Was hired by China to work with their schools for a contract of about 5 years or so, and spent significant time there. And he's going to talk with us about that in this interview. Very cool stuff, really awesome stuff. He has been to Cypress Woods a bunch of times actually, but he hasn't been here for about 7, 8, maybe 9 years. When he came here, it was a little different. Recess was something that the PE teachers were in charge of, and we ran recess. And we ran recess just like we ran PE class. It was very organized, and we did something called recess practice, where we actually practiced recess. We had PE 5 days a week at that time, so we could do these things. We had the time to do these things. It would be very hard for us to do that right now, to run recess and to do things the way we did it then. But at the time, it was very cool at Cypress. What would happen is at lunchtime, you would come, eat lunch, and as soon as you were finished eating, you could put up your tray and walk out to recess. That's what I said. You could walk out to recess. Not necessarily as a class, but individually or groups were allowed to walk out to recess. There was some person in the hall supervising, sometimes not there, but the expectation was that there'd be no behavior problems and no noise. And the kids were trained, and they really wanted recess, and they wanted it, badly. And because we did recess practice and people knew what to do, that's what happened. And it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It was fun. And Dr. Benjamin was there for that. He saw all of that. He's going to talk a little bit about that in the interview today, about when he was here and saw all that. He's seen the video clips of the way we use music. Dr. Benjamin is internationally known as an expert in using music and the arts in schools. That's one of his main levels of expertise. So he absolutely loves the idea that we are using music, thinks it's just like an amazing thing. It's the right thing to do. And he has a lot to tell you guys, a lot of cool stuff. Now, I will say this. During the interview, we did have some technical difficulties. So there's going to be a couple of times in your interview where you can't hear him speaking for about 15 or 20 seconds. Just stick in there, because it comes back, and it's well worth it. So in the next slide, I'm going to have a chit chat with you about this year's 20th Kid Routine and tell you a little bit more detail about Dr. Benjamin's jobs as a superintendent in schools, and then we'll get to the interview.